Hello everybody and welcome to another class for our food nutrition program. I hope you've enjoyed it so far. My name is Thomas Nix and I am the Community Outreach Director here at Palmetto Community Action Partnership. I also do the energy conservation class, so I just want to welcome you all here, and I want to be able to give you some helpful hints that will help you save a lot of money for your household, put it back in your pocket so you can use it for other things that are just more important than giving it out to the utility companies. So from here, what I'd like to show you is, first of all, we'll get this out of the way. This is the energy saving tip sheet. I'm going to be giving each one of you a copy of this. And as you can see, there is a multitude of things that you can do that's going to help you save energy along the way and put that extra money back in the family's pocket so you can use it for other things. So each one of you will be getting one of these, and and you'll make a lifestyle change, is what I always say. Do that. Follow these as much as you can, and you won't be able to do all of them, but do what you can, and you'll certainly save money and save it for the family too. All right, we're going to move on. I'd like to show you this as a pie chart. Now this chart, if you can see, will show you the 5 major areas that you spend the most money when it comes to utilities. And we're going to break each one of those down. I'll give you a couple of hints there. On each of those, it will help you out a little bit. We know that we all have to have utility service, so we can't get away from that. So what we're going to try to do is minimize what we spend with the companies. And by doing that, of course, as I keep reiterating, that you're going to save money. So remember that even though they're providing a service to us, they're also bill collectors, right? We got to pay for that service. So what we have to do is try to outsmart them in the best ways we can and the legal ways that we can. We don't want to do anything illegal, but we can do things that will minimize the use of that service that we're getting from them and enable you to save the money. So on the pie chart, one of the first things that we're going to look at, and you can see it's the biggest part of the pie chart, is going to be space heating. Now I'm throwing in air conditioning too, so if these were separate numbers, you can see that it takes up most of the pie chart, because that is the biggest draw on your electric, is the heating and air. So if you have an HVAC system, these systems are set up to run and operate independently without us going in and raising our thermostats up and down. So the best thing that you could do is set that thermostat. In the wintertime, they like you to set that around 69 degrees. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't do that. I get mine to about 72, 73, and it's comfortable enough if I'm wearing additional clothing. In the summertime, it's 79 degrees, and I can't do that either, but I can get it to about 77. So that's going to be a personal preference for you guys. So whatever you're comfortable with, but that's the recommended temperatures that you want to be at. Each temperature below that or above that, you're spending in the neighborhood of $2 up to maybe even $3 per kilowatts when what you're charged for your energy usage. So you want to minimize that as much as possible. You also want to make this, as I had mentioned earlier, a lifestyle change. You got in the habits that you do now to keep the house cold or to keep the house warm when the time comes. And if you have kids, will run to that thermostat. So you want to get a programmable thermostat, and you want to be able to keep that at the temperatures that you're set, and you use that for the entire household. So you're going to educate everyone to let them know, that moving this up and down, not allowing the machine to do its job, is going to cost you a lot more money. So remember, set your thermostat and leave it. Let the machine cycle itself. That's what it's built to do. It's energy efficient, and that's what's going to help you. It's going to save you a lot of money. The average now can be anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 a year in our state alone, and that's just an average. We know that depending on the weather here, and especially in the summer or the winter, that could even be higher. That's what we're paying out as individuals to the electric company. So we've got to find ways to reduce that, in other words, to save the money that we want to put back into the family. Remember that in the winter, open the curtains in the winter. You want the sun, you want those rays to come into the house. Believe it or not, that little bit is going to help heat the house up. It's going to help your unit. In the summer, it's just the opposite. Close those curtains. You don't want the sun's rays coming in while you're trying to cool your house down with a heating and air unit. So you want to do that. You want to make sure that your registers, if that's what you have, and by the bases of the floor, or even in the ceiling, wherever you may have them, make sure they're clear of any obstacles and that they're clean. Clean them off. Anything that can block that is going to run the machine longer than it should, which runs your electric bill up. So remember that. Keep those areas clean. Now, you may have heard that using a fan can run the electric bill up. Well, it's so minimal. If you only have an area of your home that you're getting that heating and cooling like you like it, set a fan up in the hallway. Let that fan circulate the rest of the air through the rest of the house. It will save you money, and what's the unit itself that you're using in the fan is not going to draw as much electricity as you would think. So those are some helpful hints. You also, last but not least on that, you want to make sure that just like you would do an automobile, once a year, have it looked at, like a tune-up or an oil change. Have it looked at. It may cost anywhere from $50 to $100, but in the long run, to replace a heating and air unit can be $5,000 to $10,000. So the payoff is there. If you treat it like you would treat your car and do that tune-up once a year, it'll last you a very long time. That can last 10 years or more, depending on the usage and or damage that may have sustained, whatever it may be. They can last for 10 years or even longer. So keep that in mind when you're looking at those and when you're trying to set those parameters within the household so that you can save yourself money. The next thing on our list, if we look down here, that's one of the biggest part, and we'll go, this is bigger, but this is when it's added together. So outside of your heating and air unit, the next biggest thing is going to be your hot water heater. So the hot water heater does what? It heats water, and it heats it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year. That is a lot. So you have to plan around these things. You have to plan to know that every time, if you had a leak, a drip, a single drip, every time it falls a little bit below, the heater coils kick in and they heat that water back up. So imagine if you had a drip that you were in the bathtub or the sink and you were not taking care of that. Over a day, it's draining it enough to run the heaters to heat that water back up because it wants to stay full and hot at that same temperature. Temperature-wise, they come preset a lot of times at about 120 degrees. That's way too hot. About 110 is the high point that you would need to do anything that you're doing in your home, whether it be washing dishes or washing clothes. Every degree above that it has to heat that water up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, throughout the whole year, is costing you money. Make sure if you don't know where to check it, make sure you have someone that does. Find out who can do it for you. If you have a complex, ask maintenance to do it. Have them come and look to make sure that their thermostat is set on that down to about 110. I wouldn't go any higher than that. If there's a way to keep it wrapped and insulated, as small as that may be, it is a great thing to do. It's going to save you money. Also, a little tip that I learned, and a lot of people, you guys may know this, I didn't know it, but I learned that about every other month, and I certainly wouldn't go more than 3 months, you should drain about a gallon of water out of your hot water heater. The sediment from all of the usage will settle at the bottom, and when it does, your heater coils are there. And those heater coils, they have to heat through that sediment and heat the water. It's going to run harder, run longer to get the water temperature back up there. So again, if you're not able to do it, have somebody that can do that for you. And about every other month, or at least don't go any longer than 3 months, drain some water out of that water heater, and it'll drain that dark sediment out of there, which will clear those coils, and that will help you. So that is another big issue we have. So your heating and air unit and your hot water heater, they are draining your electricity. So those are the areas you want to attack first to make sure that you've done what you can do. And again, when you look at your energy savings tip sheet that you're going to be getting, you can't do it all. Just try to do as much of that as you can and you will make a difference. Focus on your heating and air unit and focus on your hot water heater. It's going to work out and the best for you to do that. They're both energy efficient equipment and they're made to run like they do as long as they're operating under those standards. And that's going to be up to you to take care of that and make sure that happens. we're going to work our way up the pie chart here. So I said that, the air conditioner, I would add it in with the heating. This little blue here is your refrigerator. Now, refrigerators, believe it or not, of course, they're running. You got a freezer running 24/7. You got the refrigerator itself running 24/7. A big thing here is that you have the coils on the back of the refrigerator and even underneath. So you want to make sure those coils are clear of any debris, dust, dirt, or whatever. It like your hot water heater, it works the same way. If those coils are covered in any way, they're having to work twice as hard to keep the refrigerator cold, to keep the freezer frozen. That's running your electric bill up. A trick I learned, again, I didn't know this, and a lot of you may, during Christmas time, our birthdays, the wrapping paper, once it's done, you have that long cylinder of cardboard. Well, I learned that you can put that on the end of a vacuum. You puncture about 6 holes in it with an ice pick, and you can stand and that bend and go up under your refrigerator, and it will vacuum all of that area out. It will clear it out for you. You don't have to get on your knees. You don't have to bend over. You can even use it on the back to clear the coils there. So make sure that you take that tip, use it as the best you can. If you can develop it even more, that's even better for you. And keep it clear underneath and behind it. Make sure that there's nothing blocking those coils so that the refrigerator, again, another energy efficient unit, as long as it's operating as it should and there's no blockage and it's breathable air around it. So you want to make sure that you take care of that. That's going to save you a lot there as well. Last but not least, I want to look at, as a whole, lighting and appliances. It says here about 24%. And that varies depending on how you use it. But what I usually tell people is that you've seen the new bulbs that are out there, and you've seen them. They have the squiggly lines on them, and all. You see that they're made to be very energy efficient. They're very expensive. But what you want to do, if you're not able to do it, to buy them all at once, and again, they're expensive. I would start off by using them and changing them out in the rooms that you use the lights on the most. And then as you can, work your way through the house. Now, some of the electric companies have programs, and you can get them for free. You'll have to contact your electric company and find out what their guidelines are and what they would do about getting those things out to you. So you want to replace those. As an example, a regular bulb that you may have in your house is going to be 60 watts. A bulb like that is 13 watts and will last 15 times longer. And over the long run, not the immediate, but the long run, all of that's going to save you energy. So you change those throughout your house. You want to look at also where you've got the most appliances plugged in, or the most appliances or electronics plugged in. What you want to do is they make what's called a smart strip. You can get it at Walmart. Again, some of the electric companies will give that out to you as well. But at Walmart, it's about $19.99. The smart strip is to help you save money. It is to reduce that intake of the electricity when you're not using that equipment or you're not on your electronics. You would plug them all into the one strip. And once that you're done, that strip then blocks and reduces that electricity that you normally would have. So not knowing in the beginning, I used to have everything in my apartment plugged up. If you don't need to have it plugged up, it shouldn't be plugged up. Everything plugged into the wall sockets is using a little bit of electricity. So if you have 10 things plugged up and you're not using those 10 things all at one time, imagine that adding up, and then that's an additional charge monthly that can be up to 24-25% of your bill. So remember, only plug up what you need to when you're using it. Now, I don't unplug the microwave and I don't unplug my TV, but I do have a smart strip, and that helps reduce that intake of your electricity. So all in all, these are some major areas that I want you to focus on when you're doing that. Then when you go through your house, do a walkthrough. Look at those things. You may think it's small, but in the long run and over a period of time, all this is going to make a difference. You want to put that money back in your pocket. You want to put it back into the household. You got plenty of other things you could spend the money on that are better suited than paying out the electric company. We have to have the service, and when it's our duty, and that's why I say it's a lifestyle change. It's our duty to do what we can to make sure that we reduce that so that we pay them as little as possible for that service and get to keep it. But most of the money goes back into household, like whether it's medicine or whether it's food or whether it's clothing, whatever it may be that you need more than what it is by just paying out to the electric company. You get in the habit that we have to have water, we have to have electric, we have to have this, so I'm just going to do whatever, I'm just going to be comfortable. You can do it. You can change your ways a little bit. It's a lifestyle change. It's not going to happen overnight. Give yourself time and get the whole family involved. If everyone in the household's involved, it's going to make it much easier to control. And as a family, you're going to put that money back into your household where it should be. If you have any questions, there'll be my contact information. You certainly can contact me at any time, email me, call me, whatever it is. I will help you out in any way that I can. The whole agency is here to help you out. I hope you enjoy the rest of your program for this food nutrition class. It's been amazing, and thank you guys, and I hope to see you soon.